Hello and welcome to the beauty of human biology. I am your host, Tricia Reid. We're going to be exploring the language of the chakras and understanding that felt experience of being a human. I look forward to our journey together. Thank you for joining us today. We will be talking with Schreck about the throat chakra. Location: mouth, jaw, throat, ears, and shoulders. The throat chakra is where we use sound to express our individual beliefs and truths. This chakra is also a conduit which divine wisdom and beauty are transmuted and transmitted through a variety of creative modalities. We'll talk a bit about chakra balancing through singing, creating, and listening deeply, along with speaking your truth, aligning your behaviors with your truth, and avoiding speaking or listening to negativity and poison. We'll talk a bit about affirmations and chakra healing.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Tricia Reid, and here with me today is Schreck. And Sherry is going to talk to us today about the throat chakra. Take it away, Sherry.
Wonderful. Well, we're continuing our journey through the chakras, and it's leading us to our throat, the throat chakra. And this is governed by the most subtle of the elements that we work with in yoga, and that is of space. Now, of course, in space, we have the vibrations of sound, and so that's part of what we'll be playing with today with the throat chakra. And this is our power of words, thoughts, and of course it comes from beliefs, and how influential that is in everything that we do, which comes from what we think, which comes from what we believe and feel. So this all is a very powerful chakra, and it's actually called Vishuddha, which means purification. And the idea is that we have ideas or inspirations, and sometimes they are inspired from spirit, and sometimes they are not, and they're coming more from the ego end of the spectrum, which is usually that's survival mode. And a lot of us are mainly in that survival mode at some level, at some point. And so we want to be able to differentiate and allow the inspired, loving, creative, fun, play to come forth, and not the fear, run, hit, fight, blah, 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 blah. That's so and so there's that you want discrimination. And sometimes we do that discrimination, well, definitely by thinking. So when we talk about words, we're not just talking about speaking out loud. It also can be writing, singing, but also our thought process, our analyzing process is part of this too. So we have not been really taught how to quiet our mind, at least, and watch and look at what those different inspired or not so inspired thoughts are, and discriminate what it is that we want to feed and what it is we want to let go and release. And this is probably the most important thing that one can learn to do in life for bringing more happiness, joy, and love into your life, is that watching and discrimination. And like the throat chakra is, we are looking at what it is that we want. We're discriminating. It's purifications. We're purifying those thought processes, and purifying those beliefs, for that matter. And then we can create. So that's a little bit in a nutshell what we're talking about, throat chakra. And I want to go into what is a balanced throat chakra look like in one's life. And in our body, we have a resonant voice, healthy neck, throat, ears, mouth. So those are all the organs that we use to not only communicate, but also to hear. You can't communicate well and healthy if you're not listening also. And this is also listening to yourself, those thoughts that are coming in, that's listening also. So it's with the ears, but also our internal awareness of what thoughts are popping in. The other would be on an interesting level of the body is good timing. So like rhythm, that type of thing would also be connected to this chakra. Fun part. Then on a mental emotional, we're talking about honesty with the self and also honesty with others. You know, we might say, oh, I don't lie. And yet, are we truly honest with ourselves? How are we feeling? What are we actually thinking? Sometimes we discredit or push things away instead of actually seeing where those feelings are actually coming from, and then letting them go if it doesn't resonate, if it's not in a positive experience. So suppression is not the answer here. It is being honest and seeing really where are those coming from and really asking, is it true? So that you can truly let go and see a higher truth. So another thing is a very good communicator, and that means communicating, listening, and also speaking from honesty, but also loving, open honesty. So we want to see, is what we're going to be saying really a higher truth? Is it something that the divine would say to another person, right? That's kind of a great way of thinking about what is loving, honest communication. It's not like, oh, you look like crap today. Okay, that's the ego right there. That's the little devil, as I like to say. And that is not probably what the divine would say. So communication, also creativity, right? Being divinely inspired, that inspiration. So that also comes with fun, I think. And then in a life situation, talking about fun, is creative creator, right? But also a good speaker, a good listener. So you're comfortable being in front of people and communicating, like this whole Zoom thing. You know, this has also been very interesting for people. All of a sudden, the main way that we're communicating now is through, you know, video, TV, and it's a whole nother arena of communication that we're getting to explore. So on the unbalanced side of the chakra, and this in the body would be disorders of the throat, ears, voice, neck, for example, like locked jaw, that type of thing. Here, weak voice, maybe even tone deaf would be out of balance. In the mental, emotional, this could be the fear of speaking. We were talking about fear of putting yourself out there, of speaking your truth to others, but also being that, again, honest with yourself. Here also would be the difficulty in being quiet and making space. You know, in our culture, you know, do, create, or make. That's, you know, how much money do you have? What do you have? You know, these are, and that takes time, right? And so people are squished so much into their day that's difficult for them to make the space to be quiet and, for example, to meditate, right? Which we're going to actually do some in a little bit. So again, on this unbalanced would be in that arena of poor communication. So when you do communicate, it might be with anger, attack. So that would be a typical poor communicator, right? Or the other extreme would be that you passive aggressive type thing where you don't say anything and you act out. So those are kind of the two extremes of poor communication. And then in a life situation, I'm going to really split this more into that overactive chakra and underactive. And the over would be gossip, right? And can't keep a secret. That would be the overactive throat. Can't shut up.
Okay.
And so that's a typical excessive throat chakra. And then on the other would be someone who's very shy, stuttering, can't get the words out. Also the fear of speaking, the fear of letting people know what they're thinking or feeling. So those are kind of the two extremes in the life situation. So the question is, what can we do about any of that? And there's a lot of wonderful healing modalities that can help in the arena of the throat chakra. And some is using words and mantra repetition. And we'll be practicing that in just a moment. But mantra means tool for the mind, but it's speaking internally or externally. And here comes along the same idea of chanting and singing. So using your voice, so it's a good start to actually use the voice out loud. And then internally, you can do the same thing. It's just as powerful internally as it is externally, but sometimes we need to practice those vocal cords. They're a muscle too. And then another practice would be just don't gossip. Just say no. Because here's the thing about gossip is that the gossip is coming from the ego, and the ego always wants to put itself high and most important. So whenever it sees something that's like, it can like less than like, oh, she looks like shit, right? So all of a sudden, well, if she looks like shit, well, I've got to look better. But unfortunately, so there's this people like gossiping because it makes you feel better at the beginning. But the problem is that there's an aspect of you that doesn't feel pretty, right? It feels like they look like shit. So as soon as you're judging them, you're judging yourself. And oh, I have to add this. When there's one finger pointing out at someone else, there's one, two, three, pointing back at you. I love that. That's a great way of thinking about it. As soon as you say, oh, just turn it right back around. There's three fingers pointing right back at you. You know, the practice of just don't gossip is great, but it's even better to just realize that it's not even there, that this is illusion. It's something that we need to work on in ourselves first. So going into that level of processing is even better. And that's the Vishuddha chakra again. It's that purifying, being honest with yourself. Like, how do I feel like I look like shit? Right?
Right.
Of that analogy, right? And of course we all at some point, our ego says, you look like shit. I mean, you know, there's always that moment. So as soon as you start blaming, that comes back and it's like, oh, I'm shit. So it's just like this negative gossiping is this maybe instant little high, and then it's this ball rolling downhill really fast. And so if anything, if you're going to gossip, good news. She's got spirit. Yes, she does.
I love it. I love it.
And then other little things that can help if you're more on the shy of speaking. Toastmasters, a national organization that helps you learn to speak in front of people. I've done that for a while. It's a great, easy. I don't know if there's much going on in the quarantine, but maybe they're doing it virtually.
Yeah.
Most things are nowadays.
Yeah.
Meditate, which we're going to be doing in a few, that practice of being quiet, making space to tune inward and find the peace that lies within and the happiness. And you don't have to be do outside. We can go inward and find that happiness and peace. And then when we go out into the world, that's inspired fun. And the other is practicing loving, honest, open communication. So the real practice, like as I mentioned earlier, is thinking of, would the divine say this to someone? Or even better, would I say this to the divine?
Ooh, ouch.
So either of those ways of looking at something you say, and it doesn't mean then say nothing. It means coming from a loving place of, I'm feeling this way for whatever reason, and it's not because of you, but I'm just feeling this way. You know, I want to talk about it. Maybe we can do something else, or just, so it's always coming from a place of looking within, because there's only the within anyway. And then it becomes a communication that brings us closer instead of a communication that pushes and separates. So it's always, we want to bring that togetherness in our communication.
Lovely, lovely. So, is there anything else that you feel like um,
Well,
life is asking for you to share? I mean, asking and sharing and, you know, giving, that's a lot. Because I mean, I think we all get hung up through the throat chakra on so many topics.
definitely.
And what does that feel like? What does that look like? And how does that affect us long term? And, you know, not voicing these things. So
Yeah, yeah. And I had this, one of my meditation teachers, said at one point, be honest. And it was, that was all, just be honest. And I was like, I am honest, I don't lie. And years of contemplation and meditation on that, what is really, and still, the honesty of looking at these judgments of others, and and turning it back around and seeing how I need to let those judgments go, that they're not true. They're not the highest truth. And it's just something about myself that I have not realized that needs to be resolved within. And so honesty has been a very important contemplation, and one that I'm still working on, really looking at those thoughts that come from beliefs that are old. We've had many years of practicing listening, untethered ego that is under fight and flight at all times. And it doesn't need to be there, because we're completely supported by the divine. So the more that we can feel that truth, then it's easier to start weeding out and releasing that back out, those thoughts that no longer apply in our life. Um, so I thought we could have a little practice of the throat chakra,
yeah.
and do a little bit of a stretch that can be done with a little vocal. So the beauty of this is no one's listening to you. You get to hear me. So you can make whatever sound you want here, but
Sounds
I'll
good.
coach you through it. And then we'll be doing some internal mantra repetition with some visualization, purification, because again, this chakra is Vishuddha, purification. So we'll be actually moving that energy up and down. The Sushumna Nadi is the central channel that all of the chakras lie on. So as we're doing this practice of mantra repetition, this is also a purifying. So it's a very, very nice, not only throat chakra, but overall purification process.
Sounds great.
So let's refresh our posture. And here, if you place maybe your feet on the ground, so you have a little, and then kind of lean up away from the back of your chair. If you might have been very comfy on a couch or a bed.
Okay, fine.
Got you. And so getting that upright, because when we do not only the stretch, but also for this meditation, we're going to be moving up and down the spine. So we want a natural lengthening of the spine. Of course, if you need to be lying down, you can totally do all of this lying down. So it's not a requirement, but it does have a different energy when you're sitting upright than when you're actually lying down. So we're going to start off with a really wonderful stretch. And this is one I love doing first thing when I wake up in the morning when I'm ready for bed. But also it's like the dogs and cats, when they get up after laying down, they do down dog, up dog type. This is the human version of that from a sitting or standing or even lying down position. So we're going to start off is place the hands on the back of your head. And as you inhale, you're going to press the head back, extend the elbows up, take a deep breath in, and then make some noise as you release the hands and gently bring the head back up to neutral. So this time when you do, we're going to do it 2 more times, but as you go back, you have your hands, let go of the hands, and then let the exhale bring the neck back up to neutral. Okay, so again, hands to the head, inhale, and exhale, release. One more time, inhale, head back, elbows up, and exhale, release. Good. Now just close the eyes and just feel your body and imagine the spine or a thread that's along the spine, and at the crown of the head, it's being pulled upwards towards the sun, straightening the spine as it gets pulled upwards. Now we're going to be breathing full waves of breath. So as you inhale, we practiced earlier in our journey, start your inhale at the belly, go to the chest all the way up, and then as you exhale, pour out long. So this is a wave of breath starting at the perineum, pelvic floor, inhaling up to the shoulders, and then exhale, releasing all the way out. So we're going to be doing this same breath throughout the whole practice here. Deep inhale, long exhale. And now keep that breath and imagine a light, a golden white light at the crown of your head or just above. And as you inhale, imagine bringing that light down through the spine all the way to where you're sitting, the perineum. And then as you exhale, let it move all the way back up and out the crown of the head. So each inhale, imagine pulling in as inhaling, moving down, exhale, moving that light back up. So keep going. If visualizing is not your thing, it's okay. Just allow your awareness to track along the spine as you breathe. So your mind is watching, or your awareness is watching all along, going up and down with your breath. So the inhale is down, going through head, chest, all the way to the seat. Exhale, moving all the way back up the spine and out the crown. Now, as we go, we're going to add a mantra to it too. So keep on going. And after the next exhale, you're going to add I am, as you breathe in, the light going in all the way down, and then spirit as you move up and back out the crown. Okay. Inhaling, I am. And then exhale, moving back out, spirit. There's a Sanskrit version, and that would be hum as you breathe in. And so as you breathe out, that spirit. So hum in, or I am. Exhale, so, or spirit. We're going to just keep going at your own breath rate. Just do it for a few minutes, continuing that full deep breath, tracking down and up the spine with the mantra. And slowly, still breathing, bring your awareness to your heart center. And continue breathing now in and out of the heart center, expanding like a balloon as you inhale, and releasing long as you exhale. And continue that mantra as you breathe into the heart. I am spirit as you breathe in, and I am spirit as I breathe out. Now, what's even more fun is as you breathe in, I am spirit. As you breathe out, you are spirit. Thinking of other people. Inhale, I am spirit. Think of a loved one. They are spirit. Inhale, I am spirit. Think of a friend. You are spirit. Breathing in, I am spirit. Someone you've had conflict with, you are spirit. Inhale, I am spirit. Everyone, everywhere is spirit. And I am spirit. Just sit with the heart center for a moment. Bringing the hands to the heart center. Maybe feeling a little fuller. May everyone everywhere realize that they are spirit, pure and full of love. Namaste.
Namaste. These are amazing. So grateful we have this information. I'm so grateful to have you here, Sherry. Thank you so much for guiding us through the show, the throat chakra, the throat chakra. And laugh, everyone laugh. It was funny. Get it out. Ha, Tricia messed up. I love it. It's part of it, right?
Definitely, and it's all good.
All good. I love it. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time, where we will be talking about the third eye, our sixth. Yes. All right. I'll see you next time.